How's it going, Laser Bruce's up, Bobby Sixkilla, and welcome back to Head as Code. It's time for us to head into this red one over here, I think. I don't remember what the choice was, but we'll jump into here, I'll skip ahead to the choice, and then we will make whatever choice that leads us up this red path, and once we've done the major paths, we'll try and head into these locked off ones. I assume we gotta do all these major ones first anyway. Let's jump in, shall we? Go. Here we go. I believed it was best to accompany E last time, so this time we think it's best to accompany Marco. I had a bad feeling about heading with E this time around. I felt more comfortable with Marco. In that split memory, my choice was made. Split moment, sorry. I kind of want to head out with Marco, to be honest. I sure am popular all of a sudden. We've done some good work so far, and I don't want to break the pattern, that's all. No offense to E, of course. I knew she couldn't hear me, but I didn't want the others to believe that her to be useless in escape rooms. She did have a fair share of integrity with the previous one. Oh no, that's not a problem at all. Do not worry. What I have to confer with M can wait, regardless. Something tells me it will not be done until we've seen every room here. I wasn't sure for a few seconds, but I became convinced of the fact that he was disappointed at the outcome. Perhaps that wasn't the best way to put it. He seemed annoyed, not disappointed. Marco and I looked at each other. It seemed he got the same impression. Talking about it was useless. We both knew something was up, and we had to leave the train first anyway. We shall see each other again. The two of us gave our farewells before stepping through the open doorway leading to the lobby. Much like before, as soon as we stepped through, the train drove off with the duo, heading to the last of the stations on this side. Much like before, the door closed behind us as well, trapping us in the new station to explore. Hey, before we go in, I want to look around this place. Marco had already been in the process of climbing up the stairs before I said that, after which he came back down to join me again. You want to look around here? There's hardly anything of note. Well, first let's confirm this fact. What do you find if you go up and check the other side? Is it exactly the same room as this one? Like every station? I'll go take a look. Call me for when you're done and we can share information then. He went back up the stairs. I didn't know if he'd do what I asked of him, or if he'd start this escape room without me. No skin off my back, either case. I had a small room to explore and plenty of time to do so. Some things had caught my eye and I wanted to take a closer look. This is the first time we've ever explored the lobby. It was a shiny surface. At first I thought it was a support beam, but upon pressing my hands onto it, it felt more like a large vibrating tunnel. Maybe it was for air conditioning? Strange, there was nothing connecting this under the station, or above, except for the room we'd have to explore there. I already tried entering the code 42069, but it didn't work. I was all out of ideas. This is our way out. On the door was a window. That made sense. We'd get out of here when we'd win, not when we'd lose. That's why it's called a window and not a lose door. Oh dear. Marco's rubbing off on you again. Yep, there was a staircase. The stairs were kind of small though. I always wondered why exactly they were this small. All it did was make it more likely someone to trip and fall. Maybe that was the danger of the game. I always climbed them 2 stairs at a time as a result. Maybe that's the hope. Instead of getting killed by the collar, you get killed by falling down stairs. In the end, I decided to call for Marco. Hey Em, you finished yet? I understood he couldn't hear me, so I left my post and went up. I found him in the church. Em, I told you to explore the other side, didn't I? Yeah, you did. And I did too. I realized there was nothing really important there, so I left and came up here to meditate a little. You? Meditating? Surprising. Figured it would be. Anyway, look at this place. It's big, isn't it? It's just what it says on the tin. It's a church. I can see that. Explored this place any then? Not yet. I was waiting for you like a good companion. Sidekick, you mean? I could have shaved off some time if I went and did some of my own, but I thought it'd be better if I did it alongside you. I had to diffuse this little joking mentality he kept relying on while we were in here. This isn't fun though. None of this is. We're stuck here and we can die. How can you think any of this is fun? Well, to be honest, I don't think that. I'm just optimistic. At least I try to be. This place is really hard, you know? It's suffocating me a little. Knowing we can't just go outside. Yeah, that's rough. You got me? You understand what I feel about this place, right? I do wish I could be back outside, like Ray wishes too. But until we're outside, I can't let it drag me down too much, or else I'm going to drink myself unconscious in the lounge and be useless. So that's why if I want to win, I have to work hard. It's the same for life too. There are so many people who try doing something or other, and they just fail. They just don't reach their goal. Why is that? They gave it an honest shot, but it's not because they didn't manage to do it that they failed. Failing isn't the act of falling down, but staying down. Very true. It's just like the little green man said. You either succeed or you fail. There is no trying to do something. You either get back up and work harder, or you stay down. I see. I get knocked down, but I get up again. I thought I understood Marco before, but perhaps this was more useful than any gaming session we'd ever had together. Marco relied on his humor because he needed it. If that was the church that kept him up, what was mine? Jasmine's face flashed in my head. Was it Jasmine? No. Was it the knowledge I could make it out with my friends alive if I gave it enough effort? Here we are in a church thinking about these silly things. We both know enough about religion and I'm sure you can understand how ironic that is. Yeah. The church has been used for a long time as a means to stifle progress. Witch hunts, for example. Or put better, the idea that you have to put down anything and everything you can't personally explain. Something like that. Which is why I don't like being in this place. I don't know. Even with that, I think I'm okay being here. There's a part of me that resonates with God. Here we go, M the Evangelist. Soon you'll knock on people's doors and deliver unto them the word of the Lord. Oh, nothing like that. He put his hands in his pockets and we both contemplated the room. It was spacious, as we previously ascertained. I had no idea how this could be underground. This is a church. It's kind of weird that it's here underground. Churches have a right to go wherever they want to. They're human just like you or I. I was just wondering how exactly they managed to build this underground. And also it's not human, it's a building, you idiot. It's pretty big, even if it looks smaller than the churches I've gone to in the past. How many was that? One. He shrugged as if it proved a point. Fair that there's only one church, so I was no expert or anything. Suddenly he'd already begun exploring the room. I decided to follow his lead and go for it too. And yet, before I could make any movement, a strange feeling took hold of me. It was a bit of a flashback. Somehow I felt like I'd been here before. The solution to this room, I knew it. I knew what to do. My head lifted up a little. In a daze, I stared upward at the arches near the ceiling. There was a lever. There was something hooked onto the arches. How did I know that? I whispered to myself, trying to make sense of it. This is weird. I don't feel too good all of a sudden. A headache. Just as quickly as that pain surged in my head, it went away. Within moments, I already forgot what I was thinking about before. I did see the thing hooked up upon the arch, though. How weird. Have I ever come here before? I think I know if I visited more than one church. Is this the church I visited then? A long time ago? Hey S, let's get a move on. I'm not going to do your homework. Coming. I shook off that terrible feeling, making sure Marco didn't hear anything from me other than that. The last thing I wanted was to burden him even further. As I stepped further into the church, I couldn't hide my sudden unease. Marco noticed remarkably quickly. Good at reading people, is he? You okay? Want to sit down for a bit? No, I'll be fine. I must be allergic to the clergy. Then you'd be allergic. A clergic. Oh god. The corner of my lips twisted up into a grim smile. I understood he wanted to cheer me up despite my current state. I gave in and sat down on a bench. It wasn't comfortable. As I leaned back, I focused on what we could search around the room. We already know the answer, remember? He said so himself. It should be easy. Almost immediately, my gaze crossed the shape of a strange object hooked onto an arch. The feeling from before came back, harder than ever. It was punching my brain inside of my skull, as if my entire self was being squeezed by a vice grip. It's back. Are you okay? It's seriously worrying me now. I could hardly see him anymore. The room was spinning. Everything was moving as if it was made of water. This otherworldly feeling took over me, and all of a sudden, I knew what to do. Did you do anything yet? No. I've just been standing around, worried like crazy. Even if I'm not crazy. Okay, go to the back of the church. He moved away from me. I watched him shrink into the waving surface of my vision. He stood there, waiting for me to talk again. Now the altar. There are some gears. Gears? I didn't see any gear. This is a bona fide altar. It's flat and elegant. No, not on it. Inside. I can't open this. Oh, I forgot. How do we... A flash coursed through my head like a bomb exploding in midair over my brain. It was as though every little atom that made up my nervous system caught on fire. I saw the church. I didn't know who I was accompanying, but there was someone else there. Was it Marco? Was this me with him? No. I couldn't be sure for both. This wasn't my memory. I'd never come here before. And yet, I was seeing it as if I was living it in real time. That never happened. It couldn't have happened. Is this... deja vu? Okay. Simon, get a fucking grip. I grabbed onto a bench and slowly lifted myself to my feet. I forced the vision to go away. Marco watched from afar, worried just like before and unsure if he should rush in. I moved out of the rows of benches only to trip on the side. Ugh. Hey man, you really don't look good. Maybe you should take a nap somewhere. He swiftly rushed over to me, extending a hand to help me back up to my knees, and then to my feet. I oscillated a little, like a zombie. With one hand on the corner of the bench, I steadied myself. I'm fine. This is just weird, and I can't stop thinking about the fact that I know what to do here. Maybe you already came to this church outside of this place then. Maybe you've been here before. I've never been here. I'd know if I went to a church made for a group of cultists. I gave a nod towards the large altar in the back with a symbol engraved onto it. That's not a normal cross. That thing was on Smiley's clasp, wasn't it? If it was used to hold his outfit together. You're right. There are only two possibilities then. One, you've been here before but you forgot. Maybe you came here when you were a baby. Two, you're having visions of the future. Or another world. Another timeline. Stop joking around. I'm serious. You say you know how to solve this, right? What if you had a vision of the future when you solved it? So you're saying, if you retrace your steps, maybe it'll go away. I nodded. That made sense on a stupid level, but it was my only recourse. I shakily walked to the altar and leaned forward over it, hands flat on the surface for support. First, the pulpit. You want me to pulpit? No, the lectern. That's a pulpit. I walked over to it and looked at it. Sure enough, the instructions were on it. I knew what they were, and I knew what the answer was. I only looked at it because this was the first step. Still shaking a little, I vacated the pulpit to head to the back instead. Slowly, I pressed some switches positioned under the stained glass. First the diamonds, then the hearts. The hearts again, finally the clubs. Each time I activated a card suit, the feeling we were solving the room correctly grew stronger within me. As I finished entering the sequence, the back of the altar opened. Wow, there are a few gears in here. How'd you know? The vision, or whatever it is. I glanced over to Marco to share with him the next part of the solution. In his eyes, I didn't see the same kind of warmth as before. Did he think I was smiling? I could tell you're thinking something wild. I mean, it's just... Can you blame me? You're having visions of this and that. So it was a joke earlier. I mean, yeah. Visions from the future don't exist. And I know you've never come here. So what's up with that then? Fuck if I know him. I don't have a clue either. I just do, somehow. Can't blame me if I think you're suspicious then. Marco. I used his name instead of his nickname. I hoped he would understand I wasn't joking. I'm not Smiley, okay? The last thing I'd do is put you and everyone else in danger. I have no motive, and I certainly don't have any access to anything that would allow me to change all these stations. I mean, that's a pale excuse. Of course the person who organised all this wouldn't be someone we'd suspect. If that's your train of thought, why couldn't you be Smiley then? I took a break from the solution to sit down on the edge of the altar. I see what you mean. I guess I can't prove it either. That's a bother. Listen, Marco, you and I, we're not linked to this place, right? He paused when I asked him, as if he was hesitating. Right? You're not in cahoots with Smiley, are you? I guess, technically speaking, if you were Smiley, then I'd be in cahoots with you. But no, I don't have anything to do with Smiley. What good is my word anyway? We're friends, you twat. Your word is good. This could go in circles for a while. Did I trust Marco? Could I trust Marco? I didn't know. The more he spoke, the more he accused me of being Smiley, the more it felt like he was diverting my attention. The more he was trying to prove he wasn't Smiley either. Did I trust Marco? I trusted Marco before. I figured he'd have no role to play in this. Did my stance change? Was this paranoia? Yeah. This feeling of helplessness engulfing me from head to toe. The idea that someone I trusted before would betray me so much. That despair. I couldn't tell if it was a real conspiracy or if I was making it up in my head. That means it's probably not real. My unfocused eyes were lowering down, staring at the ground before long. Was Marco Smiley? Suddenly something brought me back to reality. Marco grabbed my shoulder and shook me gently. Hey, you listening? You look totally out of it. Sorry, I can tell you're getting hung up over it. I don't want our relationship to be bungled up by this, okay? What I feel deep in my heart is... He paused again as if he was going to say something that had been weighing on him for a long time. Maybe he was searching his words. It took about half a minute before he spoke again. Listen, if you say you're not Smiley, I trust you. But if you were, I'd follow you anyway. I don't claim to understand what you'd be thinking, why you did all this, or how, but if you were, I'd still follow you. Whatever this is, there must be a good reason, and if you're Smiley, then that reason's important to me too. And you won't go back on that? No, sir. I've decided to put my trust in you, sir. Stop calling me sir. What am I, a general? Yes, sir. If you order me to go die for you, I'll go die, sir. Okay, fine then. Since you decided to put your trust in me, I'll put my trust in you too, Marco. I'll trust that you're not Smiley either. I held out my hand for him to shake. He stretched out his hand too, and before he could have any time to pull it away, I grabbed it to shake it. Oh man, I wanted to do a quick trick on you. You wanted to remove your hand before I took it, right? Yeah. Am I so transparent? No. You're not a ghost. We both laughed it out. Yeah, I decided I could trust Marco. So, what was the next part of your so-called vision? Clearly we need to move this gear. It's a mobile, and it can connect with the one over there. Who did we do this with last time? Was it E? I think it was E. I stood back from the altar and showed it to him. Afterwards, I motioned to a pot of incense on one of the side altars. Marco went over to it. It's in there. We don't need the incense, so empty that stuff if you want. He turned the pot over and with a clinking noise a metal stick fell down to the ground. Marco grabbed it and flung it over to me. Yeet. Let's go, sir. I caught it effortlessly. I operated the machinery and just as I saw in my vision, the side of the altar in the back opened. A small depression revealed a terminal with a bunch of numbers in it. It's our password if I had to guess. Let's try it out. Yeah. But before that... Oh. The room was moving again. My headache came back. Want to sit down again? Yeah. It'll take just a short moment. I remained in the church while Marco walked out of the room. I assumed he went down to both sides of the station below, unlocking the doors for our escape. He came back up after 2 or 3 minutes. I remained seated for a bit, which invited him to take one next to me. You know, this church, it's not really a real church, is it? What do you mean? It's probably a replica. That's why I've had that vision. Maybe it's replicated from one of the real escape rooms I've done before. Maybe that's where Smiley gets getting his ideas. From real escape rooms. No, they're usually more complicated. This feels just like an excuse to stuff 2 people in a room. You know, like when teens play that game when 2 people go in the wardrobe. I guess. It's true they're not very complicated. I let my eyes wander the room again. I felt much better after sitting down for a bit. I hoped this headache wouldn't come back either. Despite our thorough search of this place, helping us with its familiarity, and the fact that it was without a doubt a replica, this place was still intimidating. Hey, I guess this is kind of random, but do you believe in God? Nobody really practices anymore, and most people seem to have become atheists now, so probably not. I guess I don't. Well, maybe I do, but it's not that simple. Don't get me wrong, I'm still a man of science, but for some reason I wholeheartedly believe in God. It did surprise me. I remained quiet since he quickly added on to the subject. Before you think I'm some kind of silly boy with beliefs that can't be proven one way or the other, I don't believe in God, the bloke God made the world in 7 days and all that kind of stuff. Those are just tales or metaphors. I'm just saying God probably exists on a whole other level than humanity. As if illustrating the concept, he was gesticulating with his arms as he spoke. How to say this? Maybe God doesn't even create because he has a will to do so. Maybe it's more like unwillingly. In a way, thinking about it like that, all of us might be God. It's all about the perception of existence. It's a theory that says... Actually, I'll just do the simple part first. You remember in school, maybe someone told you one day about a tree? If a tree falls in the forest and no one's around to hear it, did it fall? That kind of thing. Yeah, exactly. The perception of existence would say that this tree never existed. By this tree, I mean not only the tree, but also the result of the action. Let's say it fell down, and because of that, some ants had access to the tree, and eventually that colony would thrive, taking over the forest and become a hive mind bent on killing us for some reason. It would also be the result of the action encounters the tree fell in the forest. I'm talking galaxy levels of possibly never witnessed. If a planet collides with another somewhere 20 billion light years from us, and those debris never get to us and never affect us, then it's like it never existed. Am I following that correctly? Yes, exactly. That's what this belief stems from. If God doesn't see something, then that something doesn't exist, but if he sees it, then it confirms that existence. That's how God creates, basically. Because God observes us, and then we are. Then we are. Well, that's an idea, I guess. I didn't really believe in it despite Marco's insistence. Listen, I just don't really know where this belief comes from. It's just something programmed in me at this point. I don't know why, I just feel it. I guess it's because I think it's actually the other way around. God exists because we do. Imagine the tree again. For it to fall, it has to be witnessed at some point. Or the result of it falling needs to be at least. We're just lucky that we happen to be the ones who need to be observed. Or to observe or be observed. If it was anybody else, like an entire other race on some other planet, then we might not exist. Yeah, that's actually a wrench in your idea. Why is it us? We might not be the only sentient life in the universe. I guess it's us because it's how it happened. Higher beings are probably watching us at this very moment. Maybe even literally higher beings. Maybe they got cameras on the ceiling here. I elbowed him after he gave this long serious spiel only to finish it with a stupid pun. He coughed and smirked while half bent over. Worth it. No, it's never worth it, you idiot. God or not, we have to get out of here anyway. This place having a church still felt so odd. Why was that? I was interrupted in my thoughts when he stood up, nodding at me. After awkwardly strolling through the main room, we made our way to the outside hallway, and finally down the stairs. The train was taking its time. I figured it would, but this was unnaturally long. How long's it been? A few minutes. Eager to get back to the lounge? We gotta tell them there's a real church here. It's probably a fake one. Say, think Ray went off on his own and that's why the train's taking forever? I don't think so. What if another team finished? That reasoning was sound. The question was, who would we find there? Jasmine or the eccentrics? I had a bad feeling all of a sudden. I immediately thought of Jasmine alone, as if I never believed the twin had any chance of survival in the first place. The train arrived before I could chastise myself. We both stepped in it. It seemed like whatever Smiley set up was good enough to be somewhat punctual. Maybe it was finely tuned. Maybe he was driving the train himself. I don't think so. I don't think anyone's driving the train, remember? Nah, that'd be stupid. I couldn't even properly see into the driver's cabin. If he drove, he'd have to see, no? Otherwise the train wouldn't stop when it needs to. Hey, think Smiley's one of us? He might be the 9th person. Or even Ray. Remember Smiley in that recording they fed to us? Ray's build did match him, but maybe they want us to think that? What says it's a video too? Maybe it's real time. Maybe Smiley isn't even one of us and they're just looking at us from the shadows, laughing at our incompetence. Yeah, maybe. I have to think about it some more. Let's talk about it later, after we find some sort of clue. Marco clammed up and so did I. The train was going steady. We didn't say anything else again until it arrived at the lounge. The moment Marco and I stepped out of the train, we heard noises from upstairs. It sounds like something fell hard. Is Ray still up, do you think? It doesn't sound good. It's like a fight. Is this after Ray shot, H? We both looked at each other and hightailed it out of the station. Quickly, we went through the little lobby and up the stairs. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna fucking die. I'm gonna die and you're all gonna die too. Everyone here is gonna die. The words of that unstable man reached my ears and I got to the lounge proper. The situation quickly came into view. It wasn't pleasant. Jasmine had her back against the wall and Ray was yelling, holding her at gunpoint. Fuck. I knew I should have insisted earlier to take it from him. I cast a glance over to Marco. He didn't look too happy, but there was little we could really do in this situation. Jasmine noticed us. Run away, you fucking morons. Run or he's gonna kill you too. I'm not leaving you here. Stay out of it and run. My words caught Ray by surprise for a moment. Ah, it doesn't matter, they're dead too. We're all fucking dead here. We're dead men walking. Fuck Smiley. Fuck you too. And fuck your girlfriend too. Ugh. When we managed to get his attention, Jasmine leapt at him. The man fell under her weight. I froze up, unsure of how to handle the situation. If I got close, it'd be dangerous. Marco didn't seem to be in a hurry to help either. Far too content, not putting himself at risk. I had to do something, or else... Fuck! Suddenly, Jasmine slammed her forehead against Ray, causing him to grip his gun tighter. Don't. Just before Ray passed out, he fired a shot. I saw Jasmine's body tremble from the movement. She winced at me with her teeth clenched. The gun got her. I ran forward. Everything seemed to have slowed down around me. If it's like the twin, maybe she could be saved too. Damn it. It's always happened because of Ray. I fell to my knees and grabbed Jasmine's body. I pulled her from Ray and she rolled over onto her back, looking up at me. I could tell she was dying much faster than the twin. I didn't manage to save her, so this is my atonement. Fuck no. Not you. You got my lung, I think. Or something like that. Around there. Hey, would you do me a favor? What? What is it? I brought my sleeve up to my face. I wiped my eyes clean so I could see it properly. Damn it. Was it my fault? Maybe I'd gotten here fast enough. Don't blame yourself and take off my collar. Huh? That's gonna... I'm already gone, so just take it off after I end. And with that, just like that, her body shut down. My hands gripped against her back, but I couldn't feel anything. Not to break the moment, but Ray's gonna wake up anytime soon, so we should probably get a move on. We should tie him up, or shoot him. Right, just... I can't do it. Can't do what? Take her collar. I can't do it. You do it. I have something else I have to take. I delicately deposited her body next to Ray's. Marco set off to work. Out of the corner of my eyes, I saw the collar came off without triggering any laser. Maybe it knew when its wearer was dead. On the other hand, I had the choice either to yank Ray's collar and behead that son of a bitch, or... No, my hands were trembling. I was too much of a good guy. I wouldn't... kill. I gritted my teeth. I wanted to, but doing it was just... no. Instead, I was going to punish Ray otherwise. I took his gun. In my bag now, I had 2 guns. Ugh, I should have pulled it on Ray. I should have done something to stop him. It was my fault. I stood up with Marco. You're going to carry it everywhere? Maybe we'll need it later. Okay, well, whatever. Here, have this too then. I handed the gun over to him. He looked at it with surprise before taking it hesitantly. What about you? What do you have? I got my own from earlier. I took it out of the bag to show him. I knew they were dangerous though. This is just protection until I managed to find a hiding spot for them. No one else should be allowed to make use of them. Silently, we both went down the staircase to take the train again. I broke that silence a few moments later. We should get rid of those damn guns. Why? I know you're upset about her, but don't you get it? The reason why she's dead is because someone kept one. It's too dangerous. A psycho kept one, let's be honest. That kind of bullshit shouldn't be in the metro in the first place. What would you think if Ray overpowered me later and then decided to grab my gun and shoot me? I guess you do have a point. Why not just off him then? That seems simpler. Yeah, we should let him kill him. I don't want to do it because I just don't, okay? If he thinks it's easy, why don't we let Marco kill him? Once we're both inside the train, it set off again. Ray's gonna have to live with the fact that he's got 2 deaths on his conscience now. I don't have any of that. I'm not gonna get any of that weighing me down. I don't like it. I didn't want her to die. Yeah, I mean, it's nice to save someone, but we're in danger too. And we had nothing. She did lunge at him, so... What, are you gonna blame her? Ah, shut up, lady. Pro-chain station my ass. Marco chuckled at my words. I deflated into a seat instead, holding my hands and trying to think about how this whole thing happened. How did Ray get the gun anyway? He had a gun, that's right. Where'd he get it? I knew where I got mine. It was in the safe in the fitness center. A safe containing an object that wasn't so safe. That's irony. However, it was possible Ray gained his gun from the room he explored with Jasmine. No, that wasn't possible. Jasmine would never have let him grab the gun. if that had been the case. The only possibility, other than him taking the gun while she was distracted, was that he took it between then and the second room. After Ray did all that was threaten the girl, grumbled during our drinks, and he also helped A with Marco. When did he ever get it? I took myself out of that daydream and looked around the train. It was still going. We'd already stopped at the pantry and now we're at the library. This is the first station I explored with Marco earlier. Hey, let's leave here. Any idea? I explained while we stepped outside. Keep guard down here, just in case a Ray comes by. I'm going to find somewhere to hide those things, so that nobody can use them to kill someone else again. This has been too horrible. Okay. Call if anything happens. I looked around the room. I didn't really have anything in mind when I came here. I could put the gun behind some books. There was the clock from earlier. The cupboard? No. Anywhere I looked seemed too easy a place for anyone else to stumble onto it simply by snooping around. I had to make up another plan. Perhaps the bins were a good place to hide something. Not inside them, but there may have been something else I'd figured out. I tried to lift one up and... that was very heavy. For some reason they were strangely half bolted to the ground. I could make them turn around very slowly. Perfect. On the ground I could tell the bottom of the bins didn't quite reach the floor. They had a small elevated space which was just enough to put an object there. I set the gun down and slid it underneath, then pushed the bin back over it, rotating it around its bolted axis until it was perfectly fitting like before. On the bottom was a perfectly sealed containment area where the gun would now reside. That's amazing. Hey Marco, come over here, I found something. I called for Marco. I could hear his steps coming up the stairs. Aye, I'm coming, Captain. What's up? Huh? I heard from him from the staircase. Something surprised him. I realized what it was, but far too late to act. In that moment our collars were beeping and a red light came from the back. Wait, what's going on? And just like that I was beheaded before I even understood what was actually happening. I heard Marco's body fall down the stairs too. It seemed that he got beheaded too. Someone else is here. Why? The only thing I could think of was someone else came up with him. But he was alone. What exactly happened? I didn't have any answers. As I faded, I didn't care one way or the other. All I could care about was the darkness coming upon me. Ending C. Gun bad end. Hey, that one's unlocked. Oh, does that mean our yellow one's unlocked now? Interesting. That's how you unlocked. I don't know how I didn't put two and two together. You get enough right endings and that unlocks the thing. So that means we've got a major ending in yellow to get to. But we are out of time for this episode, so we will figure it out in the next one. Let's have a quick look though. Yellow, so we should be able to get to this one now. But we will figure it out next time, or we may, there's no more read to do. So yeah, we'll come back and we'll hit this one. Till then, if you guys enjoyed it, thanks for watching, thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.